Hi friends, my name is Marina Shepelsky. I'm a New York and New Jersey divorce and relationships expert because I'm a divorce lawyer. I'm in the states of New York and New Jersey, and today's video is my comments and reactions to the Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard defamation trial in Virginia. Of course, I don't practice in Virginia, but just as a member of the public and somebody who's on social media, I have my own reaction and comments, and I thought you might find this interesting because all kinds of relationships and divorce issues are definitely in this case. The basics is, in case you didn't know, that Johnny Depp is a famous American actor. He started acting when I was still a kid. I remember seeing him in 21 Jump Street. He was in a very famous classical horror movie.
I've been doing a lot of thinking the last few hours, and I know this is going to sound personal, but it isn't.
The Nightmare on Elm Street. He was a heartthrob.
Когда тебе в следующий раз приснится что-то такое, скажи: это ерунда, и проснешься. Мне помогает.
He still is, and recently he was in the Christian Dior advertising campaign where he was very attractive and advertises sort of like the sexy modern man who might be sensitive, plays guitar, and was married to a French actress, and they had kids together, and they were together for many, many years. He was on Oprah talking about his family, and then he was still with her when he met Amber Heard on a set of a movie he was doing and producing and directing, and they got into a relationship after that because I guess they fell in love. Now, they had a very tumultuous up and down type of relationship. And at the end, there was a lot of domestic violence, especially by her against him. And they got divorced after she filed for restraining orders against him, saying he threw a phone at her face and gave her that black eye, that famous picture of her with a black eye. Then they settled this. Every allegation, criminal-wise, right, for the order of protection, was completely dismissed. So there was no proof that Johnny Depp hit her or hurt her in any way. Then they divorced and settled that case. And then she decided to write an article in Washington Post in 2018, not mentioning him by name, by talking about being a victim of domestic violence and what it's like to be a survivor. When that happened, first of all, it all started falling apart for Johnny Depp when the first restraining order was filed, right? When she said he threw a phone at her face and gave her the black eye. And after that, when she wrote the article in Washington Post, it was like a nail in the coffin of his career. He began losing all kinds of deals. I know Netflix was taking his movies off their roster of movies, and he was losing contracts. And actually, the only ones who really stood by him were Christian Dior people. They did not give up on him, but everyone else did. He first sued Amber in UK over... He didn't really sue her. He sued a publication for like libel, defamatory statements. He lost that trial. Then he brought this particular current trial in the United States, in the state of Virginia. And now he sued her. Johnny Depp sued Amber for $50 million. She counterclaimed. That means she brought her own case against her for libel for $100 million. And now this trial is on TV, online, on social networks, and it has a lot of issues having to do with family law and divorce and relationship issues. I want to talk about domestic violence against men here. And we don't often talk about this because, you know, historically women are the more easily identifiable victims. Of course, men are stronger, often, you know, bigger than women. Women are not always taught to speak their minds or to defend themselves, and sometimes they can't, even physically or emotionally. But men can often be victims of domestic violence, physical, emotional, financial, and every other kind as well. Right? Domestic violence comes in all shapes. First of all, it could be in different genders. It could be in same-sex relationships. It could be taking different forms, right? What we saw with Johnny Depp and Amber is that she kept repeating to him that no one will believe him, that if he complains to anyone and tells the truth, The fact of what happened to him in this relationship, because he's a man and a white man, because he is who he is, no one will believe him. And she tried to hammer that idea into his head. And I see this a lot, especially when I work with my immigrant clients who are men in the relationships where the abuser wants to make the victim feel bad about themselves. They isolate them from friends and family because friends and family are a support network and they will help the person feel good about themselves. They don't want their spouse, the victim, to feel good about themselves. So they isolate the person and then they start to hammer away at their self-respect. They tell them, you're ugly, you're fat. In fact, Amber told Johnny Depp that he's too old and he's a fat old man to even be in the Christian Dior campaign. She tried to make him feel bad about himself. She said to people that he's an old man who likes to sit home and play guitar, which, by the way, there's nothing wrong with that. That's normal. She was much younger. I guess she wanted to go out. She wanted to have that life of glamour. She didn't marry that kind of person. And this is another problem that I saw in this whole situation, and I see in our clients, is that sometimes people who stay in domestic violence relationships, they don't love the person that they're with as they are. They love the idea of this person. They sometimes create a story in their mind of what they want the abuser spouse to be like, and they kind of, in their minds, are with that story. They're not with the person how they are in present, right now, in reality. They're kind of in their minds staying with the idea of that person, that made up story of the person. They're not dealing with the real abuser. When they realize, like Johnny Depp did, about what the person is doing to them. Amber was illegally recording Johnny Depp against his wishes, but if she did, that person and that information can now, be used for both sides, right? She said to him over and over again that nobody will believe him, that because he's a man, he has no power, that he cannot be a victim if he's a man. She did things to him and then tried to what's called gaslight him, like what happened did not happen. She caused him to lose a tip of his finger, and he plays a guitar with that hand. So it was a big deal to somebody who is a creative person, an artist, plays guitar, plays things, uses their body and their hands in movies as their tool. She convinced him that he was just a loser, a druggie, an old fat man, ugly, and nobody will ever believe him. And she convinced him that she can do whatever she wanted to him. It's important to say that people like him and her both, who come from abusive childhoods, and they both have testified and admitted to being abused. Johnny said he grew up with an abusive mother. His mother beat up him and his sister and was abusive towards the dad. Amber also came from an abusive relationship. People who are abused as kids grow up to be either abusers, and it's funny here that it's like switched genders here. She became an abuser, or victims of abuse. They seek out, sometimes subconsciously, that kind of relationship where they're once again okay with being abused, like it's part of the structure of this relationship. I wanted to say that for all the men out there who might be watching this, or for anybody that has a loved one who is a male and is in a domestic violence relationship, do not be afraid to tell the truth. It might take a while for our society to make it completely acceptable for men to declare themselves to be victims, for men to go to court and get an order of protection, for men to really not be victims of these women easily getting restraining orders and lying in court, cause the man to lose everything in his life. And that happens a lot. And the worst thing that men lose is access to their children. When a woman files a fake restraining order, when she lies about what happened, making him look like he abused her, Amber said that Johnny did all the things that she did to him. This is the funny thing. And this happens all the time. And she even comes to court wearing like a mirror reflection of the outfits that he wears. She gaslighted him all the way. So this is what other women do. These mothers sometimes, in divorces we see this. She will say that the man beat her up, he pushed her, he hurt her. Sometimes they go as far as to fake injuries, like they scratch themselves or cut themselves or do something to make it look like the man injured them falsely when the man wasn't even there. Then they call the police, they go to court, they get orders of protection or restraining orders, and that causes the man to lose visitation with the kids. And it's the kind of thing that is not impossible, but very difficult to overcome, and requires for the man to hire 1 or 2 attorneys sometimes, a divorce and a criminal attorney, and have to fight that and accuse the wife of perjury and say the wife is guilty of this abuse herself. All of this takes tremendous internal, like emotional strength and resources and money, but I want to say do not stop until you find the truth. Johnny Depp is a great example of what's the right thing to do is when you are the victim of abuse. And if you are a victim of abuse, there's help. Walk away, lose this relationship, get out of this relationship before something bad happens. Johnny Depp should have left long before the time that he actually did leave. Be preemptive. If you're being abused, find the strength in yourself to leave that relationship and understand you'll have a new peaceful life free of stress. You're putting your family and your kids at risk every day you stay with an abuser. Keep that in mind. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, become a subscriber. Please give us a heart to tell us that you love this video, and we'll keep making more videos just like this concerning relationships, concerning divorces, concerning situations of domestic violence, dating, kids, custody, and all that stuff. So stick around for more. Bye.